welcome to iasorigin. So today I will be talking about the Israel-Palestine War. You might have seen in news that recently the Hamas group has attacked Israel and Israeli population saying that we are being slaughtered, we are being killed and army is not there to help. Israel is under a huge crisis where many people are killed. But the question is, what is the reason? Why such unprecedented attack? What is the history behind this? So today in detail, we'll be talking about the whole issue, why Israel and Palestine are constantly in the war and how Israel changed its status to a nation that rose victorious over three Arab nations, Egypt, Syria and Jordan. Before starting on to that, I would like to welcome you on iasorigin and would like to tell you that you can enroll with us for the prelims cum mains program where you will get live classes, weekly tests, one-to-one mentorship session where you'll be getting a personalized mentor who will provide you with a strategy plan for your needs. So let's begin with our topic. In 1967, there occurred a war of 6 long days. These 6 days changed the whole history of Middle East and changed the geopolitical situation prevailing in that region. But this war didn't start just like that. It has a long history and the history dates back to 1917. In 1917, when Israel, or we could say Jerusalem, was under the British control, there was an order passed by the British government known as the Balfour Declaration. Under it, the American government was supporting Israel to be a land of Jews. Under it, the American government wanted Palestine for the Jews. Always this place was in contention between two different religions, the Arab Muslims and the Jews who followed Judaism. It was always a constant fight between as to who this land belongs to. And America supported Jew by this Balfour Declaration. And a demand was raised, Jews' homeland to be restored. After that declaration, there was a huge influx of Jewish population in that region. After World War I, this influx got escalated even at a faster rate, such that the population rose to a great height and around 2/3 population there consisted of Jews. Palestine, जहाँ पे पहले से Arabs रहते थे, they themselves turned into the minority and the Jews outnumbered them where their power grew. And as a result, Arabs have to leave their own homeland, Palestine. They had to immigrate from there. And this was the reason from where the war started. And the major contention began in 1948 when Israel declared itself independent. And all over the world news articles, there was State of Israel is born. And the countries like USA gave recognition to the Jewish state of Israel. And from here onwards, the Arab nation, who were Muslim dominant nation, started to fear and they were against this formation of Israel. As a result, in 1948, the first Arab-Israeli war broke out. The Arab nations in the war were Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and all these were engaged in war with Israel. They were against the formation of Israel. They were against the fact that Arabs have been reduced to the refuge and the immigrants in their own land. And this was the reason for the first war between Arab and Israelis. From here onwards, the conflict started. And as a result, UN had to intervene. And the United Nations General Assembly in its 181st declaration said for the ceasefire agreement, जहाँ पे जो होगा वहीं पे stop कर दिया जाना. The troops had to stop over there itself. And as a result, here some of the regions of the Arab nations went on to Israel. After that, in 1949, there was a time of peace for a short time. There were no fights in 1949, but still there were refuge and immigrants crisis on a large scale. And the Arab nations are disturbed by these Palestinian refugees which used to cross border and reach to those countries. As a result, the turmoil there started. And Israel also considered these Arab nations as a threat. Since from the time of formation of Israel, these Arab nations did not recognize its sovereignty and also attacked Israel as and when US recognized its independence. So Israelis always considered Arab as a threat to them, and both of them were engaged in mutual distrust. And time and again, short fights were engaged in. But before 1967, in 1966, Syrian-backed Palestine guerrillas. Palestine में कुछ infiltrate लोग militant group बना रहे थे, and these militant group were supported by the Arab countries like Syria. And in 1966, these Syrian-backed Palestine groups attacked the Israeli border and the defense forces there. They attacked on the military of Israel. From there, the 1967 war started, and now the Russia and US also got engaged in the war. The mutual distrust was already there. Now, in that time only, Russia contacted Egypt and sent that an intelligence news is there that Israel is planning a full-fledged attack on Egypt. And this intelligence share to Egypt was a fake news which was being spread. But this fake news did a huge disaster, and Egypt thought that this intelligence news is truth and attacked on Israel. And from there onwards, the 1967 war started, which is also known as the 6-Day War, which lasted for 6 days and changed the whole scenario of Middle East. Egypt advanced towards the Sinai Peninsula. Sinai Peninsula is a part which connects the African continent, which connects with the Middle East. And from there onwards, the army of Egypt marched towards Israel to attack them, and the war started. Over here you can see on 5th June 1967, Israel declared Operation Focus and attacked Egypt. An Israeli army crushed Egypt, and Egypt lost the war. But there were again a rumor of fake news which said that Egyptian victory over Israel. And this news of Egypt got victorious over Israel spread to Jordan, and Jordan, being Arab nation supporter, again drew into conflict with Israel. Jordan attacked Israel. And from there onwards, you can see that Jordan में ये जो old city of Jerusalem है, this is old Jerusalem, यहाँ पे attack होता है. And after the attack, this part and this part were in conflict, and the West Bank territory, जो कि West Bank territory थी, वो Israel के पास पहुंच जाती है. Israel seized the West Bank territory in this war. Here you can see each day Israel was emerging victorious and occupying territory over territory. First they defeated Egyptian army, and now the Jordan army was defeated and West Bank came under the control of Israel. Here you can see it is termed as West Bank because अगर Old Jerusalem city को देखा जाए जो कि Jordan के पास थी, उसका ये west part form करता है. Though it lies in the eastern portion of Israel, but initially was a portion of Jordan जो कि west part का form करता था. That is why it is termed as West Bank. Then on the 6th day of the war, 6th day, Syria got involved in the war, and Syria and Israel were under fight. And from here onwards, in the 6th day, another territory came to Israel that was termed as Golan Heights. This Golan Heights belonged to Syria, and this was occupied by Israel. Hence, we can see that in these 6 days, Golan Heights, West Bank, Sinai Peninsula, and a major chunk of Palestine went to Israel. And Israel alone defeated the armies of Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and emerged victorious. From here onwards, it was stated that Israel is definitely an unbeatable player, and it got huge recognition in the geopolitics. And we could see the disappearing Palestine. After this 6-day war, this was whole Palestine, this green portion. This Palestine was occupied by the Arabs. But in 1947, the partition plan, due to constant fight between the two religions, the Arabs and the Jews, United Nations resolution was passed, and this part was given to the Jewish population, and the other part came to be known as Israel, which was inhabited by the Jews over there. But after the 6-day war, we can see that this whole white area came to be known as Israel, and this was a West Bank area which is controlled by Israel but was a part of Jordan. This was a Gaza Strip, and the Golan Heights over here went on to Israel. And the Palestinian population were reduced in their own area to a minority. Over here, again, the Israel army occupied some other areas, and the Palestinians was reduced to a chunk of population. And as a result, they have reduced to a minority in their own region. Arabs had to run away from their own land. This was all about the Jew and the Arab conflict. which was related to the who this land belongs to and the gainer of territory. After that, the 60 War, there was a meeting held in Khartoum, Sudan, where all the Arab nations gathered and decided on 3 no's. They declared that the Arab League in 1967 will say 3 no's, no resolution. That means no recognition to Israel. They won't recognize Israel as a sovereign state. No peace. They won't buy peace with Israel. They won't cede their territory again. And they won't consider that any negotiation would help because a large chunk of their territories have been ceded, which was wrong. And no negotiation. They did not wanted any negotiation. They wanted a retaliation with Israel. And as a result of retaliation, again in 1973, another war broke out that is known as the Yom Kippur War. This was a war again between the Arab and the Israeli nation. Here, Syria attacked Israel for this time to capture the Golan Heights back from Israel. This is known as a Yom Kippur War because of a reason. Yom Kippur is a festival of the Jewish population. In the ending month of September and October, एक holy festival होता है Jews का जिसको हम Yom Kippur कहते हैं. And during that festival time, जबकि एक holiday चल रहा था, the Arab nations attacked without any knowledge over Israel, and this war broke out in 1973. But this was unsuccessful. Syria again lost and Golan Heights stayed with Israel. This was the 4th Arab-Israeli war. But after all these wars, who remained at the suffering end was Syria. Syria का एक major chunk of land उसके control से चला गया था. That was Golan Heights. Because in 1981, the Sinai Peninsula was given back to Egypt. Egypt की उसकी sovereignty मान ली गई थी. As a result, the Sinai Peninsula today belongs to Egypt, not to Israel. But the Golan Heights still belong to Israel. So Syria lost a major chunk of land on that race. And these minor fights and religious issues gave rise to many militant groups with time and again attacked Israel or the Arab nations again and again. And the recent issue of Israel at war with unprecedented attack is nothing new but bores back seed in the history of Jews and the Arab fight which we talked about recently. So what is this Hamas attack which is happening at present? Let us discuss in detail about it. Recently, the Hamas group from the Gaza Strip have made an attack on Israel. They have entered through the border of Israel and captured the people over there. And also they have attacked a major city which is known as Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is one of the most important town of Israel. It is situated near the capital of Israel, Jerusalem. जेरूसलम इसराइल का कैपिटल कहा जाता है. उसके पास ये टेल अवीव सिटी है जहां पे उन्होंने एक मेजर अटैक कैरी आउट किया है. ड्रोन अटैक्स एंड किलिंग पीपल एंड कैरिंग देम बैक टू गाजा स्ट्रिप was done by the Hamas tribe over there. But who are these Hamas? The question here is this. The Hamas word stands for Harakat al-Muqawama Islamiyya. This is an Arabic word. This Arabic word means land restoration, जो कि ये group है. This group is considered as a terrorist group by many countries like US and UK. So therefore, this attack is termed as a terror attack on Israel. And this is a Islamist organization. ये एक Islamist organization है जो कि 1987 में इजराइल में फॉर्म हुई थी. बट इजराइल में 1987 में आई थी, बट दिस हैड अ बैकिंग ऑफ 1920 इन इजिप्ट. इजिप्ट में जब प्रीवियस वॉर्स चल रही थी, जब अरब और ज्यू के बीच में इशू चल रहे थे, जब बेलफोर डिक्लेरेशन साइन हुआ था, उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे ही ये ग्रुप फॉर्म हो गया था फॉर फाइटिंग फॉर अरब्स इन 1920. इजिप्ट में ऑलरेडी फॉर्म था एंड इट मेंटेन्ड इट्स स्ट्रॉन्ग होल्ड बाय 1987 इनटू द इजरायली मेनलैंड. बट से बहुत सारे ग्रुप्स हैं इजराइल में which are still functional because they claim that Palestine was a land for Arabs and this has been occupied by Israel. Therefore, they are fighting to claim and get their territory. But there is a difference between the other groups and the Hamas group. Other groups में आ जाते हैं जैसे कि PLO. PLO is Palestine Liberation Organization. The difference is that PLO की बात की जाए तो PLO is in negotiation with the Israeli government. वो गवर्नमेंट के संग नेगोशिएट करने में बिलीव करते हैं. For example, you might have heard about Oslo Accord. Oslo Accord was a peace accord. ये एक peace accord था to establish peace between the Jews and the Arabs. This was signed between the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, and the Israeli government. After that, the control of Palestine administration came into existence. But the Hamas group believes that there is no point of negotiating with the Israeli government because उनका मानना है Israel is a illegally occupied territory and उसके sovereign rights are not at all recognized by the Hamas group. Hamas considers Israel as an illegal nation and an illegitimate nation, and therefore it does not believe in negotiation with the Israeli government. So in the recent attack, Hamas group carried out unprecedented attack. This is also compared to the Yom Kippur attack which happened in 1973 because Yom Kippur एक religious festival के time पे हुआ था in 1973, a holy festival of Israel. Similarly, इस particular attack को भी एक holiday दिन पे किया गया था when they were celebrating their festival. Jews celebrate this week as a week of repentance where they repent for all the sins they have done and claim forgiveness from God for all their sins. During this time, again the Hamas group attacked. That is why it is known as a Yom Kippur attack revival. Okay, so here they infiltrated the Israeli territory, attacked on Tel Aviv, as I said, one of the important cities of Israel, and a dozen of Israeli soldiers were captured and moved to Gaza Strip. Now this is important. उन्होंने उनके soldiers को hostage की तरह वापस Gaza Strip ले गए हैं. This is a point to note because if we go back to the history, recent history की बात की जाए, in 2006 Hamas group ने एक बार Gilad Shalit, he was a soldier of Israeli army. Gilad Shalit को capture कर लिया था and they captured him for 5 years, and in return for his release they demanded the 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. Can you imagine? एक सोल्जर को रिहा कराने के लिए उन्होंने 1,000 prisoners को रिलीज करवाया था. So capturing the soldiers as hostage in this war is a huge turning point. वो पता नहीं किस तरीके से इस चीज को misuse करके आगे अपनी demands रखेंगे which might have to be fulfilled. So this is a reason why it is to be worried about by the Israeli government. When we talk about Palestinian President Mohammed Abbas said that Palestinian people have the right to defend themselves. They have a right to defend themselves against terror of settlers. Now, when Hamas attacked Israel government made it clear that we are at war and we will attack in a more severe way and will lead to crushing of Hamas. And they also retaliated with the attack over the Gaza Strip area and the Palestine area. Now, Palestine, though it is not recognized as a country by United Nations, but it holds its authority at Ramallah. This is a place in Palestine where Ramallah, जहाँ से वो उनकी government carry out होती है, वहाँ पे उनके president भी हैं. And the President Abbas, who is the president of Palestine, declared that we have a right to safeguard ourselves. And they said that UN should not support Israel in this war. Because obvious are the reason that Palestine supports the Hamas group. Because Palestine में Arabs population hai and Hamas are none other than the Arab groups, and therefore this religious support of the terror attack is being done. But all over the world, other countries like US and other have supported Israel. Joe Biden granted its full-hearted support, political support for Israel and the Gaza war. He said these terror attacks must be criticized and supported Israel over this war. We can see that the Brandenburg Gate in Germany was lightened up with Israeli map over the support of Israel. That means Germany is also supporting Israel and showing its solidarity to the nation. Similarly, India also stands firmly with Israel. PM Modi said that we are against all the terror attacks and we do not support terrorism in any other form. When we talk about India and Israel, definitely India will support Israel because when in past we were engaged in war in 1962 and 65, in Indochina war, Palestine remained neutral, the Arab nations remained neutral, and when in Indo-Pakistan war we were engaged, the Arab nations supported Pakistan, not India. Though we had good relations with all the Arab nations, we had a huge demand of oil from those nations. Still, we were not supported, but Israel wholeheartedly supported us throughout our journeys, and Therefore, India and Israel are considered as all-weather friends, and India has given its wholehearted support to Israel in this issue. Therefore, we can say that the recent attack of Hamas on Israel is nothing new, but something which has been continuing since a long time, from 1917 declaration to 1948 ceasefire agreement to 1967 Six-Day War to 1973 Cooper War and the present Hamas crisis. Israel and Arabs have always been in a constant conflict with each other. And we can see that this disturbs the whole political situation of Middle East. Let's see what will be the implications of this present attack and how Israel and other world nations will deal with it and how the geopolitics will change with this. This was all about Israel-Palestine issue and the Hamas war. Hope you liked the video. Do like and comment, and for more such videos, subscribe to our channel iasorigin. Thank you.